aura, niggas got the aura. Yeah, I'm with my niggas, we taking pictures with brown liquor. More concerned about the bucks, Lil Al Cinder. The troubled mind of a young nigga you about to enter. Grew up strong off them Salisbury steak dinners. Now every day we eating just like it's the weekend. Bum scissor with bitches who like to eat vegan. The shade I'm throwing complimentary, I seen you creeping. Anything you heard about me, I just hope it's decent.
Send a shout out to the pretty much to the Heme team. Y'all know who y'all are.
First of all, we're not shouting them out every fucking
I'm shouting out to the Heme team. I don't know about y'all.
We're not
shouting them out
every episode. You shouted them out the last episode.
And I'm always going to keep shouting them out because that's my people. I'm going to shout out to my boy Brian. Shout out to my boy Mike Robb. Shout out to my boy Adrian.
Oh, now he's throwing out names. Oh, are these the Heme team people?
These are not part of it.
And Brian, if you're listening, I hear he did not mention your name again, so we were correcting.
I just said his name first. I just said his name.
He's saying his name first out of guilt.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Anyways, if these lovely ladies want to play games and try to get me in some trouble like they did last night.
Oh, we got you in trouble, didn't we, Marcus? What were you doing last night?
I was messing with y'all, and y'all was saying some crazy stuff.
Oh, Ronnie, you hear this? He was messing with us last.
He was not messing with us. I just have you know that we have never heard of this Brian until yesterday.
Listen,
last night did he come out of nowhere and talk about something? I'm his friend.
That is my boy. So I don't know why y'all act like, oh my God, you told this man I had no friends. Like I said, I had no friends. You told us you ain't got no friends. I never said that. I never said I didn't have no friends. Y'all just assumed I said that.
Kendra, okay. You over there sipping on something?
Mm-hmm.
What you sipping on?
Girl, I told you sangria is always my go-to.
All right.
That man tried to play me talking about something. This the third bottle you done had in 2 days. I'm like, mind your business. Yesterday I was drinking with a team.
Damn alcoholics. That's what y'all are. That's some damn winos.
First of all, you should have stopped and got that double shot like we told you to, old stiff long bottom over there.
Hey, man, I spent too much money over this weekend already. I'm good.
All right, before they start arguing, I'm Ronnie.
This is Ken.
And as y'all know, that's Marcus.
Facts.
And we're two chicks in a dick.
That's a fact. So like I said, we talking about adulting today. Now, I want to know. I already said my little 2 cents. I want to hear from y'all. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about adulting? Is it like pretty much the biggest hype beast ever in life?
I feel like when I was young, I definitely had different expectations for my life. Like by the time I was 25, I just knew I was gonna have a husband and a child and own a home and 2 cars. And it was just ridiculous. I remember being young saying all the time that when I get older, like grocery shopping, I'm always gonna buy this, that, and the third. And now that I'm old enough to go grocery shopping, I'm like, I see why. My mom used to hate going to the grocery store. This shit is expensive.
And there's certain things that you just cannot buy off-brand.
You cannot buy cereal off-brand.
No. That off-brand Captain Crunch is pretty good.
No.
I don't eat Captain Crunch at all. That turns my roof of my mouth up and you're trifling.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I've bought off-brand. Like, there's some certain off-brand cereals.
Kinds of
off-brand cereals you can eat.
But that's not all of them.
But for real, you want that name brand, like.
Yeah.
No, that off-brand.
You can't buy off-brand yogurt.
Off-brand Captain Crunch might be better than the real Captain Crunch. I'm sorry.
You can't.
Off-brand Fruity Pebbles are probably about the only thing you can get away with.
I don't know about it. You definitely.
Because everything else off-brand to me tastes like marshmallows. Like off-brand Apple Jackson, off-brand Fruit Loops, they taste like marshmallows, and that's disgusting.
You definitely can't buy off-brand shit. What's that called? Pop-Tarts. Ugh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's trash, too. That's too. No, for real. If you really, really want to taste some nasty stuff, try some off-brand Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It is the most foulest thing ever. Like, I remember my mom got it one time, and she's like, oh, here, you can eat this instead. Like, it's the same thing. As soon as I took my first bite I was hyped. I was like, man, I got me some Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm about to smash. First fight into this damn thing, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Disgusted, I bet.
I said, I done got played. Y'all, you just hit me with this okie doke, like, for real.
Honestly, with the cereal bit, I remember my mom used to be, like, upset if we open more than one box.
Yep.
You know, Caden is the only child. You know, I mean, he's not an only child, but he's the only child that eats. And like right now, we got 4 boxes of cereal on the refrigerator. And why do black people all put their cereal on the refrigerator?
I don't.
Different discussion. But either way it goes, he really got mad at me the other day because he wanted to open the Golden Crisp. But I'm like, you got you got Fruity Pebbles and Cinnamon Toast Crunch open. And that's already 1 box too many because you're the only one who eats cereal. So now we got these 2 boxes that's probably going to go stale, and I'm not opening another one. I'm like, I get it. When I was younger, I just don't understand if I like this kind and my sister like that kind, why we just can't eat. Like, open all the cereal at one time. But I get it.
At my
$4 a box.
At my house, we had cereal containers.
Like, I was about to say, you need to invest in some containers.
But hey, I never followed it. I've always got to eat out of the box, like especially if it's that name brand. Like I don't want to just pour it all in this container and throw the box away. I'm like I want to what's on the backside of the.
And Kellogg's used to be good for putting those right. Yeah. They used to be good for putting those activities on the box.
Yeah, so I'm trying to wake up in the morning, fix my bowl, and just sit down and see whatever activity it is on the back. I'm trying to see what that's like.
Exactly.
But you just say just go ahead and put it in the container.
But buying groceries is probably like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to adulting and the things that we stress about. Like, I feel like our age group is probably the most stressed because of finances as a whole. Because growing up, we always assumed that adulting would be fun. But now we're adults and we're tired and we work and we got bills and we don't do half the stuff that we said that we were going to do. And it's like budgeting and actually knowing, like if it wasn't for my mom, I do not credit HHS at all for teaching me how to balance a checkbook or save or anything like that. But I remember when I got my first job, I was like 10% of every check you get needs to go into your savings. And I never understood that until I got old enough and then didn't have a rainy day fund one time and I needed one. Like heaven forbid you have something bad happen to your car or you get laid off and you don't have a savings. Like I experienced that firsthand this summer when the school district up here in JCPS, they forfeited $15 million grant and laid off quite a few people. And I was one of the people caught up in that. Now, mind you, I'm 8 months pregnant with a 5-year-old laid off. If it wasn't for the fact that I had a savings account, I would have been SOL. Like, I couldn't stress it though, because I'm like, yeah, this is exactly why you did save money for things like this. So, shout out to my mom for that.
Yeah, shout out to my mom for that. She preached that to me every day.
So you never took any of the business classes in high school, Kendra? Because I remember taking Miss Nestor's class, and she taught us that.
No, I never. I was an ROTC nerd, so I had ROTC like 2 of my blocks, that I had to take. And then, of course, I had weightlifting because of wrestling. And, yeah, that was about it.
You was a wrestler, kid?
And then I was in... Heck yeah, varsity 125. Check your girl out.
Okay. Doing the flying squirrel on the motherfuckers out there.
I used to do, what was it called? The grapevine. That used to be I wrestled with my legs.
Really?
Like at 125, the wrestlers either were like muscle bound little guys or they were technique. And I was a technique wrestler because, of course, I didn't have the best upper body strength. So I couldn't lock up with nobody and head toss nobody. Now, Shavoya Coleman, shout out to my girl. She was the only other female on our wrestling team. And she used to head toss that. She used to toss them niggas from her hip. Every rip. I used to love watching her wrestle, but yeah.
Listen,
y'all doing a lot of name dropping this episode.
No disrespect. No disrespect.
We giving shout outs.
Yeah, no disrespect to the Greco-Roman wrestling, like the original wrestling. And most of us, we know when we think of wrestling, we think of the WWE. We talk about Stone Cold.
But that's not real wrestling, and you know that.
Shout out to Stone Cold.
And that's Austin. Being a child, that.
Shout out to Rock. Shout out to the Triple A. Shout out to the
That's what we're not about to do. Not tonight.
Shout out to
not
them,
tonight.
They set that precedent for for my generation and the next generation after us.
Like, my God.
They are legends in the game.
No. That's one of the things that you knew growing up that you didn't realize was fake.
I
mean,
really
they
didn't
fake,
realize it
but
was
honestly,
fake until I
When
got
you were a
older.
child, you
But
did not
honestly,
realize that
but
was fake. Because the referees used to tell them, all right, it's his turn.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden they coming back after,
but you know,
like
I listen,
you all on the rope about to die. And
but you know what,
come
though?
back extra strong. No,
but you know what, Jake? But y'all didn't watch ECW, though. Because ECW was some real stuff. But also, you also got to think, you know, the most athletic sport there is actually wrestling. Like the people,
I think maybe dancing and cheerleading got
No.
wrestling by quite
Cheerleading, definitely. But don't get me started.
I was a wrestler, so don't.
But think
real
about
wrestling matches are 3 rounds of a couple of minutes each. They're not the matches that you used to see. They really were acting, so they didn't exert too much energy doing the stuff that they were doing.
No, not really, because you got to think these people are on the road pretty much a good 300 days out of the year.
You're talking about traveling. You're talking about
but they travel and still do. No, they travel
to
the same routine. Over.
So what do you think the cheerleaders are doing when they travel with the football teams?
But they get an off
way
season.
more physically
but they get an
and
off
traveling
season.
a lot more.
But they get
do you really think cheerleaders have an off season? Because
please
they train
enlighten
when
me.
they're off season.
Please enlighten me when the off season is, so I can tell you where you're wrong. Please.
I think they have an off season because they know
when.
They really know.
Hence,
if I'm going from professional, from
think,
professional,
you saying think you don't know that.
Please tell me when.
Tell me professional. When. I'm trying to tell you.
I'm listening.
I think from a personal standpoint, I think once the season's over, I think they will have a break or two, like a couple of weeks, and then get back to it. Whereas for real WWE wrestlers, they are doing the same thing over and over again in different cities every day.
All right,
but it's just like a dance routine.
Nope,
though.
I let Marcus tell his side of that, of how he thinks the cheerleaders get a break. Let me tell you, from a person who was a cheerleader, from a person who is a cheerleading coach, there is no off season. There isn't. You have sideline cheer. You have competition cheer. You have all kinds of cheer. You're constantly in tumbling classes. You're constantly in gymnastics. If you're not at practice, you're going to tumbling or gymnastics. If we're not at practice or tumbling or gymnastics, we're at a game, whether it be football, basketball, soccer. I don't know, whatever you cheer for, but you're constantly doing something. And then when there is no sport going on, like over the summertime, who do you think performs in all those summertime parades? Cheerleaders perform in those parades. So what do you think, we just get out there and just do it off the whim? No, we practice for those parades.
Oh, and the fact that you tried to tell me before they start arguing, before Marcus and Ronnie get to arguing too deeply,
right?
Let's just put it out there that one of the reasons that I wrestled in high school, aside from the fact that my cousin used to beat me up all the time because he was on the wrestling team for Fort Campbell High School, I wanted to be a WWE diva. And it was something that I just knew that would be great. Traveling was one of the goals that I had for my life. And then the older I got, the more I realized that is not a realistic job.
Me too. I used to want to be Trish Stratus.
To pursue.
So shout out to Trish Stratus. Shout out to Trish Stratus. That was.
Did you all make 5-year plans? We're getting ready to graduate high school.
I did.
Did you achieve everything on your plan?
No, ma'am. Actually, my plan was all wrong.
I didn't have a 5-year plan. I did not think of a 5-year plan.
So you just was graduating out here on a whim, like I'm gonna go to college, and that's all I know.
I knew I was gonna go to college. I knew that. That was like one thing that was set in stone. I knew I was going to go to college. My 5-year plan got jacked up because my lung collapsed when I was 17. I was supposed to be a poster girl for the Navy. Damn.
And my lung collapsed. Yep.
How'd your lung collapse?
Hell if I know. I just remember going to the doctor and I told him, I was like, it don't feel like it's opening up all the way. And I was walking around for 3 days like that before I finally told my mom, and she took me. He's like, well, yeah, you're right. I've been self-diagnosing for as long as I can remember. I always go to the doctor and tell them exactly what's wrong. And they're like, well, you're right. It's so crazy because this was my senior year. So it's actually, as a matter of fact, it was before my ex-boyfriend's birthday. So I found out November 20th or 19th, and his birthday was a few days after that. So I remember everything about that year. Like, I had taken the ASVAB. I got an amazing score. I think it was like an 85 or a 90. A couple of different recruiters had come to the school talking to me. I remember, I was the battalion commander of the ROTC. So we always had recruiters coming in talking to us anyway, because they like, hey, if you in ROTC, you clearly want to, pursue a military path. And I used to talk to the Navy recruiter pretty heavily. I used to go out to the little recruitment center out there that was on Fort Campbell Boulevard, like a little closer. I think it might have been in Clarksville, but like headed towards Clarksville on Fort Campbell Campbell Boulevard. After my lung collapsed, every single branch that was looking at me was like, yeah, you're going to have to wait 3 years before you can enlist. And I was like,
Damn.
3 years? I'm going to be 20 years old. And by that time, I could be almost done with school. So that's why I ended up going to college.
Damn, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my 5-year plan was I was supposed to as well join the Navy. And because I'm very much a granddaddy's girl, my granddaddy told me that the military was not a place for women and that if I joined the military, that he was going to disown me. So.
Damn.
That's harsh.
I know.
Right.
So me being me, I did not join the military. And I decided, okay, well then you can just go to school. But then my 5-year plan was you need to graduate, you need to go to school. By the time you're 25, I would like to be married with 2 children. Is that what I have accomplished now that I'm 29? No, that's not what I've accomplished.
Now, you think your grandfather said those things to you just to protect you from what was going on at the time?
He probably was serious, though, knowing her granddaddy.
I never met the man.
Knowing him, he was there. I know, and it's so crazy because the goals that women have are really a direct reflection of their families. Because I was told by my mother that I either had to fight, go to school, or work because she couldn't really afford to pay for me to go to college. So she's like, if you don't get a scholarship, I don't know how you're gonna pay for it because taking out loans is really gonna mess up your credit before you're actually established in this world. So that was something I kept in mind. So one of the deciding factors between the schools that I chose, like I got accepted all over Kentucky. I got accepted to Rochester University in Rochester, New York, but I went where I had the most money. In K-State gave me a full ride, so that's where I went. Like, they paid for everything, room and board, everything.
I didn't get that. I didn't get no scholarship, none of that. I was coming in.
Now that I look back at it.
Straight off pockets.
Now that I look back at it, I don't blame my granddaddy. Especially being that I was choosing the Navy. They do all kind of shit to them women on those ships.
Yeah, and you out in the sea. So, I mean, there's not a lot of, I don't think...
freedom.
Yeah, pretty much freedom. And
you on a boat in the middle of the water, like a town floating in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, you can scream bloody murder. Ain't nobody going to hear you.
But women in the military in general, they are not... I mean, women in America were not treated with the same level of respect as men in the workplace. So I could just imagine how women in the military, I'm not even going to try to assume what they go through, but I can just imagine just based off of how the transgressions we deal with in corporate America. So yeah, that's not something I was looking forward to it though. Not even going to lie, because I had this vision of traveling the world and going, like one of my favorite books that I read in high school was the Antoine Fisher story. And one of the things that he said in his book was that, because he didn't have a home, he stayed out at sea every time, like instead of porting and, going back to the base that he was stationed at, he stayed on the boat because he had no home to go back to. He had nobody waiting for him. So, I was like, that would be dope to just go to all these different countries for free, see the world for free, get college paid for free. But, my life kind of didn't work out like that. So
yeah,
cool.
I mean, see, y'all had goals and like certain ambitions. Me, I was just trying to figure out how to get through to the next day. I'm not that kind of person. Like, I can have dreams, Marcus, and goals, but I just want to get through the first day.
With you not having any goals, when exactly did you move out of your mama's house? I just want to know, because I have this theory that in America, it's more common in the Black household for the girls to move out a lot quicker because we are forced into independence. Yeah. And I don't think Black men have that same push to be independent and to do things. Like, the fact that he didn't have any goals is quite shocking to me, because I knew for a fact at 17 that there was probably a year or two past me graduating with me being at home, and I didn't even make it that. Like, I literally... You
want to know why that is? That's because most of the time we as girls, we're so territorial and we're so set in our ways. We can't live in the house with another girl. Your mom is a girl. That's why 10 times out of 10.
That's why it can't be 2 queens in the household.
Exactly.
I totally agree.
Exactly.
I totally agree.
Well, like I said, for me, I didn't have no, like I said, no aspirations and goals when I was younger. When I was like...
You avoiding the question. What age did you out of your mama's house?
What age I was out. I was like literally out of the house like 21. Actually, I take that back. Because I didn't come back home. I didn't move back to Lexington until I was about like 22, 23. So then I stayed there for about a few weeks, stayed here for like a few years, and I moved back out.
Okay. 21's not too bad, but I had to go. I had to get down on her. I was out of that thing at 19.
Exactly, because we're girls. Like, we just cannot. Like, I remember the breaking point for me. My breaking point was I wanted to go out one night, and I wasn't even going to be gone all night. And she was just like, oh, you need to be back in the house at 12. Now, mind you, she's never told me that I needed to be back in the house at 12.
Right. What's this curfew you're trying to impose?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Like,
but all of a sudden, this particular night, it was I had to be back at 12. No. Okay, well, that's just not going to work out. Not tonight.
Well, see, when I went to college, my mama had this rule that if I didn't make it back in the house by 2, then I had to just stay out of the house, which was fine because, I had friends. I had a boyfriend. I thought I was...
Furthermore, if you haven't made it in the house by 2, you probably not coming home.
We're not coming. Exactly. But, that's when you were young and partying, so you wanted to go to the after hours, and you had to go get breakfast because it's 6 o'clock in the morning when you're leaving after hours. So usually if I was not coming home, I just wasn't coming home. So I just remember this one particular weekend, and it was a lot of stuff that built up to it. Like, she told me prior to this weekend that I needed to figure something out because she wasn't going to be able to afford to move me back and forth every year because she was considering moving to Texas. I just remember one particular weekend, I was out the night before. Like, I was literally coming in for the first time that day. It was probably around noon, 1 o'clock from the night before because, of course, I couldn't come home. So I'm coming in, and she's like, oh, I'm glad you're here. You need to wash them dishes and do it. Like, basically telling me that I had these chores to do. And I was like, first of all, I don't even know what y'all ate on those dishes. That's how I know I'm not going to wash them because I didn't put no dishes in the sink. And she tried to make it a whole battle of the wheels. Like, I'm trying to be confrontational. And I'm like, I'm just being real. Like, I clearly don't live here. I didn't eat any of those dishes. And for you to try to make me clean the kitchen, it'd be different if you asked me to help you out and do something. But what, for lack of a better question, what were you doing all day that you couldn't wash the dishes in your sink? Like, I don't live here. And it turned into a whole argument. I was like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. And after that, I found me an apartment and never came home.
My thing was, I get it, but my family was just like, yo, just call. Just to tell us where you at or something. And I'm like, yo, I'm 22. I'm 23 years old. Like, why do I need to call y'all? But I get it. Yeah,
I
just
feel
a
like
check-in,
as a man,
just a small check-in.
As a man, what is a man's breaking point to when they know they have to move out? Because I feel like my brother, he was definitely get favoritism. Like, I have never heard my mom say, oh, you have to be in the house at this time. Or I've never heard my mom say, oh, so-and-so can't come over. Or I've never heard those things
but that
out of her mouth.
But that comes with the double standards that we have with men and women growing up. Like, I feel like girls, we're forced to grow up entirely too quickly. For one, sexually, for most Black women in America, I remember the first time that a man looked at me sexually. I was probably about 12. I was 12 years old when that man was hitting on me, and it made me so uncomfortable to the point that I didn't go to any more functions at his house. Like, he used to host barbecues and stuff, and I would find something else to do. Like, I'm not going over there because he stares at me the whole time I'm there. And men don't have those same issues, just like they don't have that issue with having to be independent so early in their life. And it's like, do I feel like I could have stayed in my mom's house past 19? Probably not. But do I wish I could have, so I could have put off paying bills? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, ma'am.
So my question, Marcus, is, at what point did you feel like, okay, this is my breaking point. I have to fucking move out of this house as a man? Because I feel like it's a different breaking point for women versus men. So what was yours?
It was the age. I was getting up in age. And
so you just felt like you was uncomfortable because of your age?
Yeah, well, that, and it's just people around me, people who I've been associated with, or who I'm associated with, or have been around, who are still living with their parents at an older age. And I'm like, I'm like, hell no, I ain't about to be that. So for me, it's like, no, I gotta get out of here. I'm not about to wake up and I'm 35 still living in my parents' house.
But that sounds like a personal comfort thing then, because it sounds like your parents easily would have let you stay in the house.
My parents would have let me. I was, kick in just kicking on some of the bills, but they would have let me stay. But I'm also been under the mindset that my parents, they both were in the Army, so they both have been all over the country at the age of 17 or 18 years old. They've been away from their homes at that time. And the way I look at it is like, I can't be sitting here and have not experienced anything. Like I have yet to explore, really explore, live on my own. So I need to do that.
I just think it's strange because I know at least that I can think of off the top of my head, 2 of my white friends that I went to high school with still live with their parents, and they're fucking married with kids, and white people do that shit. And I'm living with my parents because I'm saving up for money so we could buy a house, or,
right.
White people do that stuff. But why is that frowned upon in the Black community?
I think it's a matter of how they conditioned us in this country. Like, they really broke down the family system so well for us that we feel like we have to be independent to prove that our parents... Like, honestly, I think that a lot of us associate success with being able to be independent. My friend from Africa was telling me that he thinks it's weird that in America, like, he's like, your mama's got a house and she's paying rent, and your your cousins have a house and they're paying rent, and he like was just running down the whole family tree. He's like, all these different people living in these different places paying mortgage and rent, when you all can get a really, really big house together, buy the land, buy the house, and live together and save money. But instead, we as Black people have so much pride that we are refusing to do things like that. Like, if I could tolerate living with my siblings and my mom, I think that would be a dope idea. But do I think I could do it?
No,
probably not.
I can't. I know I can't.
I'm too much of a loner. Like, I go missing from people for weeks at a time, like, where I don't want to be bothered. So unless I had a wing on my house that I could shut off and nobody could get to,
first of all, how do you live in a house with people like that? Like, there's no way possible that I can live in the house with my parents, my siblings, and all that stuff. Because first of all, I like to walk around with no bra on. I like to walk around in only my panties.
That's me. Exactly. That's why I'm like, I'm very much a recluse for that very reason. Like, I don't even like company because of that. Like, people coming over, that means I got to put on clothes.
And I just think that it would be a little weird if I'm just walking around in my panties and bra around my brother.
You think it's weird, but think about how much money you all would save collectively.
Listen, I don't care how much money that I'm saving collectively. I'm not walking around the house in nothing but my bra or my panties around my brother. That's just not acceptable.
Oh, that's understandable. But
yeah,
Marcus, what were you gonna say?
Fuck bills, man. If I knew what I knew now. If I knew back then, oh man, I'll stay at my parents' house till death, because I'm like, I ain't trying to pay all these bills.
God.
Why don't you go back?
Nah, it's too late. It's too late.
I told you, it's not too late. You're single. You ain't got no kids. You ain't got nothing. Why not go back?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I can't bring no woman home. We've had this discussion before. The way
he can't be no man whore with his mama.
Yeah, the way my house was built, we only had one bathroom, and you had to go through my room to get to the bathroom.
Hell to the no.
So my parents was right.
Ain't no way.
My parents was right. My parents' room was right next to mine. So they had to get up and go through my room just to get to get to the bathroom.
Okay, but at your age, whoever you're dating, if they're around your age, I can probably guarantee it. They probably got their own place anyways.
Right. I get that, but I want to have my own as well. I don't want to...
You want to be able to have baby back at the crib with him.
Yeah.
I get it.
No, because 10 times out of 10 is if she doesn't have a kid, she don't want to come to your house no ways. I'm just being honest.
I get that, but here's
half the time women choose to go to men's houses because they probably have kids.
Yep, that's my thing. I don't want people to know where I live.
I'm also that person too. I don't like telling nobody.
I don't want you to know where I stay at.
But I can almost guarantee you, any woman that doesn't have kids probably wants you to come to their house before they go to yours.
Because it's about safety and sanitation.
Sanitation would be my reason.
Trying to go, like, after the fact, the cleanup, you need a clean wash rag. I can't tell you how many times. Well, I ain't going to say how many times.
I get all that.
You know,
that.
Ain't no
one wants
towels.
a washcloth that smells like must. Or your towels,
or
your washcloth might be clean, but some men don't know that you can't put fabric softener in there with the towels because it makes the towels smell funny. So then you got to clean it with vinegar to get that smell out. See, not all men know that. So, you know, it's about sanitation for me.
And then most men don't have soap, bars of soap. They just got that Irish Spring or Axe body wash.
Listen, don't talk bad about Irish Spring. I use Irish Spring. Don't talk bad about that. I was a firm.
I'm just saying, like, as a woman,
I'm allergic to Irish Spring. I'm allergic to Irish Spring.
Me too. That stuff will break you out real bad. So either you, as a woman, going to spend the night with your boo, you either have to keep a go bag in the car or invite them to your house.
Irish Spring was actually the first soap that I realized that I was allergic to.
Like I said, I
think mine was Libra 2000.
I was a huge fan of the Irish Spring bar of soap. I was always on it, mostly because I saw my dad. That was my dad's choice, so I was always rocking with it, whatever he had.
Most bachelors are onto that Irish Spring.
Well, I mean, then later on, I guess I started using body wash, and then there was like
exactly because y'all don't have them holes to clean down there. Well, not that we supposed to clean it, but y'all don't think about stuff like that, so y'all don't have to think.
But there's also more variety in body wash, like the scent.
No, body wash.
We don't need scent.
Body wash has this thing called glycerin in it, and glycerin is not good for the vagina
at all. It'll throw your pH all the way off. We walk around itching, Yanni upset, probably develop BV, if not a yeast infection.
So I'm telling you, it is definitely okay for you to go live with your parents, and a woman would not care because 10 times out of 10, as long as she doesn't have a kid, she doesn't want to come to your house no way.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I'm cool. I'm about to be 30 here soon. I need to have my own spot. I ain't about to be living with my parents at 30 unless something dire happens to the point I have to be over there.
Right. I just know that being an adult now, I understand why. Like, you remember being younger, asking your parents and stuff, and them always saying, I'm broke or I don't got no money. I get it now. Paying bills broke and being broke are two different kinds of broke. Like, I'm broke because I just paid all the bills for you to have lights and water and food. Not that I'm broke like I ain't got no money at all, but I ain't got no money to go get you no Happy Meal. If that's what you're thinking. To buy this $50 toy that you don't need, this $100 game that you don't need. Like, mama's broke. And I get it now because I used to be mad all the time. Like, what you mean you ain't got no money? But I get it now, sis. I get it.
Yeah, go up there and go to the grocery line and you start doing the math in your head of your account. Like, okay, if I pay this.
Listen, I got my
and what you put back if it don't add
right.
Yes, I got it down to a science. I know how to go in the store and say I'm only spending $30 and spend $29.37 type. Like, that's how good I got it. Because I'm doing taxes and everything in my head.
Yep.
I ain't got time to play.
Yep.
I ain't got time to be embarrassed when I get up there.
hit that. It says decline. You be like, damn. You're like, my worst fear.
So now that we are at adulting age and we realize the struggles of adulting, the question arises is, when and how do you make time to have fun and to enjoy just your life? Because I feel like we do get into the monotony of our routines and stuff, like get up every day, work, cook dinner.
I can
start. To be honest, I think it's planning now. Just I wasn't a big fan of planning. I was just like kind of a go with the flow kind of a person. And then, but now it seems, now I got older, I understand the real truth about just being, planning. Like planning your day out, having each of the stuff, done by a certain time of the day. And you have enough time to do whatever it is you want. So I think, for real, it's all about planning.
So you plan your self-care time. What about you, Ronnie?
I know for me, I just feel like I was 19. I moved out. I moved to a whole nother state that was 10 hours away from my family. I had a kid and I was alone by myself, 10 hours away, no help. I felt like I didn't have a life for a very long time. So I can say this. From about the time that I was 25 to now, I have the philosophy of I'm a mom Monday through Friday. That's what I do. But Friday at 5 p.m.,
clocking out.
I'm clocking out. I have my bottle. I have my friends. Mm-hmm. I'm going out. I'm stepping out. I'm putting clothes on because I don't wear clothes Monday through Friday. God, girl, I don't wear clothes. But I have a closet full of them, and I have a closet full of shoes because I have a shopping addiction. So I feel like Friday at 5 p.m., I'm clocking out. And I don't care if it's to go to the club. I don't care if it's to go to the bar. I don't care if it's to go to the Mexican restaurant around the corner. I don't care where I'm going, but I'm going to put on some clothes. I'm going to make myself look presentable because Monday through Friday, I don't look presentable.
And see, with me being a working mom, I feel the same way. And I actually had an argument with somebody about a month or so ago trying to tell me that as a mom, I shouldn't be doing this and doing that. And I'm like, at what point do you value me as a woman if you feel that way? Because before I was a mom, I was a woman. Before I was a mom, I was Kendra. So Kendra likes to dance. Kendra likes to take tequila shots and drink wine and watch movies and travel. So just because I'm a mom does not mean I have to mom every moment of every day, because I'm always going to be a mom. Like, that doesn't stop. But there are times when you do have to take a step back and enjoy yourself. Like for me, I think I work in most of my self-care time when the boys are asleep because I am a night thinker. So I'll do writing and, reading and different things like that after they go to sleep. And because of the schedule that we have, most nights they're in bed by 7:30, 8 at the latest. So I'm able to get a lot of stuff done after 8 o'clock. And it usually starts with me having to prepare for the next day. Like, all right, let me lay these clothes out, pack this diaper bag, get these milk bottles together, and then I can focus on mom. But I think that's definitely very important as not just a person, but as a working person, a working adult, a mom, a dad, whatever you may be, you always have to carve out time for yourself, because if not, you get lost in those schedules. You get lost in the busyness of the days. They blur together.
Society stresses us out and makes us do these things because society has false goals and shit that you're supposed to do. And that's not true. I personally hate when I see people say, oh, I did all my partying and blah, blah, blah when I went to college, and now I'm a mom and I'm 30 years old and I don't do it anymore. Okay, what makes you better than the next person because you did that when you were in college? Because when you're in college, you don't even know yourself. You're just out partying because everybody else is out partying.
Because you don't want to be in the dorm room.
Exactly. At the age of 30 years old, now I know, hey, I personally don't have to party. I personally just like to put on clothes.
I like to get cute.
But in the college age, I didn't know that.
My biggest gripe about adulting, I guess, for women is when I hear a lot of women talk about, oh my God, I will have a kid by this age. Like, say you want to be a mom by 25, and you're disappointed when you're not a mom at 25. In my head, I'm thinking, like, why are you disappointed? Like, where does it say in stone that you have to be a mother in your 20s? I'll be sitting there just listen. As I listen to them, I'm just like, is it a race? Because when they see their friends starting to get pregnant, or that's when it really kicks in. Like, really, just there is I don't know. I wouldn't say insecurity, but
no, you can say insecurity, because I think that comes from having value of self. Like, if you don't see any value in what you're doing in the moment that you're doing it, of course you feel like you're not doing enough. Like, while you're in college, of course you don't feel like you're doing what you should be doing. But there is somebody who's not in college that wish they were in college. And when you graduated and you don't have a job and you're in the job trying to build your resume up, of course you don't feel like I'm not in my career. I'm watching these people get jobs. Well, guess what? You're exploring, and there are people who are in their careers that hate their careers, that wish they could switch careers. So I think, just to touch on what you just said about people feeling a type of way by not having kids at a certain age, there's two sides to that really bother me. I hate when girls compare themselves to other women who have kids at that age and wish they had kids. And I also hate when girls be like, oh, I'm such and such years old and I ain't have kids because I ain't have time for kids and I'm living my best life. Like one of my coworkers,
I lived my best life and I got a kid, so.
Period. And I got 2. I had a coworker the other day say to me, I just don't see how you could have had these kids in your 20s because I was out doing this and doing that and, you know, having a good time with my husband and this, that, and the third. Mind you, you are a woman of a certain age with 2 kids and a divorcee. I am about to be a 29-year-old woman with 2 kids and I am also a divorcee. But guess what? I am living my best life with my children. And she was like, well, I couldn't do this and couldn't do that with my kids. I'm like, you thought that, so you chose not to do that with your kids, which means after you had your kids, you stopped living. Caden and I take trips every year for his birthday. And in the summertime, we do lots of fun stuff together. Like I make it my everyday goal, like when I'm planning stuff for us, that we live our life in motion and that we make memories together, because I don't want to look up one day and all he remembers is that mom was always at work. So when people make comments like that, I think it's very insensitive and it's very stupid, because it's like you're equating the value of your life by if you do or do not have children. Like not having children does not make you more valuable than the next woman, and having children does not make you more valuable than the next woman. And I think that's something that we as a society need to move away from. But you know, women, we have an odd way of comparing ourselves to each other. So that's something else. That's a whole nother discussion.
I can only speak for myself personally. I can say I am honestly happy that I had my child at a young age, because the older I get, the thinner my patience gets.
Exactly.
And I can just tell you that right now. I couldn't imagine having a baby at this age that I am now, because
No, I agree, because I had Caden when I was 23 and I'm 28 with Cash, and him crying, I'm like, what are you crying for? Like, I be talking to him like he understands, like, boy, I need you to stop, because we don't do crybabies around here.
Yeah, like, what do you want? What do you want from me?
And that's like, literally how I talk. Like, do you want this boob? I just changed your diaper. Are you tired? Like, I'm talking to him like he understands me. And it's like, I love him dearly, but look, I can't wait till you get to 2 and I can be like, hey, to come get your brother, because he's bothering me.
But that's just me personally. There are some people that as they age, their patience gets better.
They get more patience, yeah. But you just never know how that's going to work out.
But all women are different. So I can only speak for me personally. I am personally glad I had my child at a young age, because I can tell you right now, if I had a child at the age that I am right now, my patience would be totally different than what it is when I had my child at the age of 19. It would be totally different, and probably not in a good way.
Your kid would have had a real hard life.
Like... I don't think that I did the whole cry it out method with Gouda. I don't think that I don't think I did that with Gouda. But I can tell you right now, if I had a kid right now, you probably crying it out. If I know I changed you, if I know I fed you, if I know that I've coddled you with lots of love and kisses and all that shit like that, and you still going, you probably crying it out.
That's terrible. But I understand that, though. I understand that.
But honestly, I don't think I ever did the cry it out with Gouda. I think Gouda was constantly probably in my arms. I think Gouda was probably constantly on my breast. I think Gouda he probably got a lot of fucking attention. And I'm pretty sure he did. But I can tell you right now that my patience is not built like that anymore. So, yeah, it probably won't happen again. But I was also 19. This is 10 years later. I'm now 29.
Yeah, that is a big age difference right there.
Exactly. I'm not interested.
You know, cellular-wise, you become a whole different person after 7 years. Like, all your cells are completely new, so...
And I feel like I am a whole different person. I feel like I am a whole different person. And that just goes to show, like, I feel like midlife crises happen earlier nowadays than what they used to.
I think they do. I definitely agree. Because the pressure that we're under as young... I would say we're mid-millennials. So we're not the youngest of the millennials, but we're not that far from the oldest. But as millennials, I think the pressure for us has, mounted up because of all the changes in society. Like, things that were acceptable when our parents were young are not acceptable at that same age for us. Like, I remember, making it to 25 and not having a husband and not having a man made you a prude, or made you, a spinstress. And now it's like you see more and more women waiting until their mid-30s, late 40s getting married. And it's because we're no longer accepting the bullshit that men are spitting. Like, I really hate when people talk about the old days and marriages and how they last. And I'm like, well, those ladies didn't have a choice. They didn't have careers. They didn't have, the option to divorce. And a lot of them had to deal with repeated infidelities and children outside of the home and all kinds of other stuff that we no longer have to accept as women because we have options. Like we can go get a job and start a career and pave our own way in this world. So there are a lot of women who ascribe to their own, way. I do think, like you said, the midlife crisis thing, I think that comes from how Marcus was talking about women saying that, I'm 25 and I should have had a kid. Like, I think a lot of that comes from there. Like, we set these standards for ourselves, these goals that we don't reach. And then we're like, oh my gosh, I'm failing at everything that I should be doing. I need to be fixing it and reworking it. And it's hard to accept that you're not doing what you thought you would be doing at a certain age.
It is.
It's definitely discouraging as hell.
By the age of 25, I was supposed to be owning my own hotel.
A hotel?
Kendra, you know that. You wrote it in my senior book. I hope you get that hotel you've always talked about.
You wanted to own a hotel?
I wanted to own a hotel.
What made you want to own a hotel?
Made Manhattan. I used to watch that movie literally every fucking day.
Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. God, you and my sister both have so much.
But listen, I still would like to have 6 children, but when I was younger, when I was in high school, I used to be like, my cap is 13. And the older I got, I started going down on that number because I realized 1, children are expensive, and 2, it takes a lot of time to bounce back after having a baby. I think that's one thing that a lot of women are in such a rush to have kids, but they don't understand that postpartum phase, that 2-year period when your body is getting back to normal after you just almost lost your life, giving somebody a life. That's hard. So,
one thing that I do commend myself on as a woman, and I feel like what you're talking about, the postpartum situation, I feel like a lot of women go through that because I feel like a lot of women also, you have to have me time. A lot of women, they do not know that. They focus all their time and energy.
Mom, baby.
They focus all their time and energy. They're mom. They're a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm this. I'm that. I'm this. I'm that. I hate labels. I fucking hate labels. I hate them because there's so much more to a woman than just a mom or a wife. We are so much more than that.
Yep. But I think too, like, we only focus on depression. So it's like there's so many other things that we could suffer from if we don't take care of ourselves as men and women. Depression is not the only or the worst thing that could happen to you as an adult. Like, you could suffer through anxiety. You could have panic attacks. You could, suffer through insomnia. Like, there are a lot of ways that stress can arise and show its ugly head in your life. So it's like, if you're not taking that time to care for yourself and take those times out to have me moments and decompressing is one of the most important things you can do. And you also, as a friend, have to be aware that you can't always just unload onto your friends because sometimes your friends are going through a lot too. So, I think we should be more cognizant of saying that to our friends, like, I need to decompress. Are you available for me to decompress too? And if they're not, then you have to be okay with that and move on and find another way to decompress.
That's why Black people need to start going to therapy, and Black people don't like to go to therapy.
Oh, yeah.
It is such a taboo. I don't understand it. I really don't never understood it as to why it's such a taboo. But then I'm hearing other people's things that, you don't want somebody to tell you that you're crazy or somebody picking your brain every chance you get. Everything that you say, they start questioning, like, how do you feel?
I am a therapy pusher.
Yep.
I believe in therapy. I go to therapy. Therapy works. Go to therapy. My therapist has flat out let me know, I don't give you answers and I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm here to listen and I'm here to tell you my educational advice. Emphasis on educational. Educational means that he has done statistics. He has ran tests. He knows this based off the activities of others. That's not 100% sure, and that's not always factual.
I think the only problem with also for Black people not going to therapists is probably because of the money. Some of the bill is probably pretty high.
Get you some good insurance.
I was about to say your insurance. Yeah. And then there are a lot of agencies in various, especially low income communities. These are resources that people are unaware are available to them. But there are usually low income therapy.
Find you a pro bono.
Yep. And also as a college student, if there are any college students listening, I guarantee you your school has a school, not just a school specified, you know, like it's not just for school, but a counselor, a psychologist that will talk to you, because K-State had one, and you could go in and talk about your problems to this person. And I think that probably was because when my mom moved to Texas, when my dad found out that he had MS, when my granny died of cancer, like it was so much that hit me at one time that I went through a very severe depression in college, and I lost so much weight. I went from like 140 something to 119. Like I was so small. I had these leggings. They were like a small, and they were falling off of me, and my friends were so concerned. And like a lot of what helped me get through that was talking to that school therapist, because I didn't feel like I could talk to my friends about it, because it was like, you know, how are y'all gonna understand, not even understand, but help me through these problems? And a lot of times that's how we feel as people. We don't feel like that we can talk to the people that are in our lives. And if you feel that way, that means you need to find somebody that you can talk to.
Social media has taken a big rise in this world nowadays. And I remember as a teenager, and I know Kendra used to do it too, because I know our whole group of friends used to do it. There was this online website that was like an online diary, but you didn't put your name in it. You would just write write as if you were writing in your normal diary, and complete fucking strangers would comment and tell you like advice. Now that was back in the day, and that shit was probably a little trash back then. I'm probably 100% sure that it's like way more advanced and better now. Like there's so many outlets that you could use to vent your problems to if you can't afford to go to a therapist.
Go on Tumblr. I'm telling you.
Tumblr's I love Tumblr.
Well, I mean, I like Tumblr
but
too.
Is Tumblr anonymous?
For the wrong reason.
Well, if you set up because it's a blog, so if you set it up and you don't put your real name on it, you don't put your pictures on it, nobody knows who runs the Tumblr.
Like I like Tumblr.
So it could be anonymous, but a lot of people do associate. Like my Tumblr is my Tumblr. Like it's my blog. It's got stuff up there that I like. So it's my picture up there. You know it's me. But you know, if I wanted to use Tumblr for that reason, then in fact, I want to say when I first got Tumblr, that's how I used to do it. Like I was going through a lot with.
That's what I'm saying. Like social media has taken over. Like you can communicate with people without having to let them know it was you. And like I said, the diary website, and I know for a fact that Kendra used to do it, because I feel like our whole group of friends used to do it.
I remember it. I do. I remember posting those, because it was like you posted on a wall and people could comment.
Exactly. And we were teenagers then, so I can only imagine that it has gotten way better by now.
If only we can remember the name of it.
I don't remember the name of it either.
You could do Tumblr, you could do WordPress. I use Tumblr, but I use it for the wrong reason. They about to ban that here soon, and I'm very upset about that.
You're funny, Marcus.
I'm very upset about that. I'm very upset. I mean, to the person who put up child pornography, you as a dick. Because
you ruined it for everybody.
You ruined it for everybody. You know, December 17th, that's when they go and shut it all down. And I'm like, bruh, y'all some real hoes out here for doing this, but I get it. But nah, other than that, but besides that, yes, Tumblr's a really good one. I've seen a lot of
truth posts.
Yes. Truth posts, a lot of, people's profiles or pages. So what they say, whatever the topic may be, and it's really good. It's really good, and then you see people's comment, and you look at the comments under there, because nowadays it's a lot of online bullying, and just want to troll everybody. But I think for Tumblr, it's a really good way. It's a really good website to go to, because you have a lot more people in the same situation that, I guess, whatever you're in. And they would, give you advice or try to cheer you up in some kind of way.
This is real shit. Like self-destruct is real.
Yeah, like don't post your, whatever you do, people. I don't know why y'all do. Stop putting your shit out on Facebook. That is the worst.
Wait. Don't you say that, because for people like me who like to sit... Okay, this is wrong for me to say.
It is, because you about to say some bullshit.
Yeah, you about to say some bullshit.
Before you even open your mouth, we know you about to say some bullshit.
If you on there talking about your baby daddy, keep it up, sis, because we like reading that kind of drama. But for real, though, if you on there talking about some real shit, I might ask you what's wrong.
And I really hate when people put stuff like that on Facebook and then pray for me. I'm really going through it. Right. And you like, what's wrong? Call me. I don't feel like talking. I hate my business.
Right.
You're disrespectful at this point. You invited me in. Now you didn't open the door. I'm about to come sit on the couch.
Or you just want to be so, like you said, you just want to be so ignorant and just start putting laundry out there so for the world to see. And when I be seeing that stuff, I'm like, bro. Like, how stupid
he don't
want
to answer the phone.
But for real,
daddy,
those are the people that need the most help. Those are the people that need the most help.
What? Who just throwing it all out there?
Yes, because there's a reason why they put it all on the internet.
Yeah, because they don't know how to talk about it.
Well, yeah.
Or they have no one to talk about it with. There's a reason.
That's true. I never seen it. I didn't see it in that aspect, but I just got so tired of seeing that, and I'm just like, why? Just why?
I will unfollow somebody. I will. Like if every day they talking about it.
Oh, I call them the problem
so much.
If you're a problem, you will get deleted.
Like you guys to go. I'm not trying to be depressed with you, sis.
Exactly.
Right. Go.
Right, they keep harping on the same
every day you talk about, I'm tired of being a mom. He don't never do nothing for these kids. He's such a deadbeat. Fuck him and his new bitch. Like, girl, you got 3 kids by this nigga.
And that's how you get a lot of fights happening. A lot of fights be off of Facebook.
Women, don't ever depend on a man to make you happy. Don't ever depend on a man to make you or your child happy. Don't do those things. And men, don't harbor over women who upset you. In hindsight, everybody just needs to take care of themselves, do their own thing, make sure you got your own routines, and make sure you're healthy, make sure you're going to counseling all the time, and make sure you're good. And we out.
Yeah.
You got the Auburn, niggas got the Auburn. You got the Auburn, niggas got the Auburn. Niggas got the Auburn. We got the Auburn, niggas got the Auburn.